to NutraPreneur, the podcast that unveils the transformative narratives in the nutraceutical world. I'm Bethany, your host, and today we're exploring the intriguing intersection of design, technology, and dropshipping. Joining us is Zack, a versatile professional with a background in graphic design and a pivotal role at HoneyComm. From building brands from scratch to managing product catalogs, Zack has been at the forefront of innovation in the consumer packaged goods industry. Welcome, Zack. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
So first, I'd love for you to share your journey transitioning from a graphic designer at HoneyComm's DFY team to your current role as a catalog manager, really, bridging the gap between design and product information management.
Sure. So on the DFY team, that stands for Done For You, and that consists of logos, like a brand kit. We typically give 3 label concepts, and then out of those 3 label concepts, the customer can pick which design they would like to continue with. And then we would take that one design and duplicate it across all of our products. And that was what I handled. Now, outside of me, there are also there's a web team, there's a marketing team, there's a copywriting team. And then we also have virtual assistants that come with specific packages. Now, I'm not sure that those will all be available in the future, but as of right now, that is what the Done For You package consists of. Now, the transition between Done For You into product catalog consists of kind of what you had mentioned earlier, but it's kind of bridging the gap between design, quality control, software development, and pretty much just anything product related comes through me. That way there's a single point of contact for all of the various different departments that we have. But yeah.
Okay, great. And, I think it's safe to say that HoneyComm is reshaping dropshipping for consumable products. So can you provide some insights into how this all-in-one solution merges manufacturing, packing, and shipping, and how you've played a part in this transformative journey?
Sure. So HoneyComm came from the company Dropshipping. And Dropshipping was just your typical drop shipper software. And I worked for the manufacturing and packaging side of things at that time. And we saw that there might be a good fit there. And so we partnered with them and tried to create some sort of solution to this problem, which is there is not a way to drop ship supplements, or not an effective way to drop ship supplements. So that was kind of the creation of the concept of the idea. I've been with HoneyComm since the very beginning. But yeah, it just kind of is a piece of software that bridges the gap between manufacturers, packers, fulfillment centers, and online stores. It's kind of like an all-in-one piece of software.
Yeah, it sounds like it's really a one-stop shop for new brands, especially that need all of those resources and may not know where to go. They can kind of just come to HoneyComm. You offer everything that they need, all of the guidance and educational resources as well. And so that's great. And I know in your previous role, you were really instrumental in building brands from scratch. So how did the process of creating logos and brand kits and labels really prepare you for your current position? And how do you ensure that branding remains consistent across a vast catalog of products?
Sure. So the transition and what I've learned is my mind is more geared towards the marketing side of things, which if you have the chance to get into HoneyComm and really look around it, you can tell it was designed by marketers. I mean, the whole thing through and through is built with the idea of selling. So from my perspective, coming from the design background, the transition into the product kind of catalog quality kind of area is a really seamless transition because I've already been working tightly with quality control, and I know a large majority of the rules and what can and cannot be on a label. Therefore, I can help guide new people while they're designing their labels before they even submit it to be quality reviewed. That helps our quality team not have to check so many labels. And the revisions are minor compared to, hey, swap out all this crazy stuff. It's a lot more seamless. Yeah.
Right. And I think that's so great because there's so many brands out there that have these great ideas. They have an amazing graphic designer. They put together this label, but then they realize, oh wow, there's all of these regulations I need to be following,
Mm-hmm.
from claims all the way down to what font size you have to use. And so having someone that's experienced with dietary supplements specifically, I think is really helpful to those new brands that are out there. And then also that you have someone in quality control on staff is great as well, because quality, of course, is so important. And while HoneyComm offers a technology platform, it's also backed by a team of experts. So, how does this blend of technology and human expertise benefit clients in the world of consumer packaged goods?
One of the biggest things is we touched on it, but the fact that we have a quality team. I mean, the large majority of these softwares, our competitors, they have quality teams, but I would argue to say that they are not as well versed in the industry as we are. We have secret shopped a lot of our competitors and tried to see kind of how those systems work. And we've purposefully put errors on labels, and they have gone through the system. So we know for a fact that they're not checking as diligently as we are. So I think that is honestly the number one kind of delimiter between the two is our quality control and the fact that we have 24-hour customer service. So if you need to get on and ask a question and you're in Canada or you're in the Philippines or you're in the US, whenever, whatever, we'll be there. We'll be there answering questions. We'll help you get whatever question or problem you might have. We'll find a solution. I think that the idea is that we put our customers first always, even when it doesn't seem logical. So like we'll kind of break our own system if it means that it'll help somebody kind of get over a little hurdle that they're having.
This episode is brought to you by NutraPayments.com. If your business needs credit card processing that fully integrates with most major Nutra software platforms, offers the lowest industry prices, and has built-in features like recurring billing, $0 trials, and chargeback prevention, then visit us at NutraPayments.com for a free online quote.
The dropshipping landscape is truly evolving. So could you delve into how HoneyComm leverages technology and innovation, possibly in ways that clients might not immediately realize, to really empower businesses in real-time order fulfillment?
Absolutely. So we are now at HoneyComm very technology based. We have just launched, we call it the Label Lab. It is a label design editor built into our software. So now there's no need to hire a designer, especially if you're looking for a very basic label. It all can now happen inside of the software itself. And then we are, this is a future thing, so this has not been launched, but we're going to be leaning heavily into AI. I don't know how much I'm allowed to say, but I will say it is unreal the what the software can produce. Like I'm talking like within 10 minutes you can have a logo, a brand, a label, and a website. Like wicked fast, yeah. It has not been launched yet, but I've had little sneak peeks, and it is very impressive. One thing that we're doing in the meantime so that we're not behind on like the AI side, is that we have supplied AI prompts. So or on like ChatGPT, I'm not sure if you've used that, but that's kind of like the go-to AI question website. What we've done is we've created learning material and given our customers prompts to ask the AI to generate whatever they need. Like I have a company that specializes in blank. I would like the logo to be blank and blank, blank, blank. It's like one of those fill in the word games. I forget what they're called, but that's pretty much what it is. And you just copy and paste it and it generates your answer. You take that and it's just so quick and so easy, especially if you understand the power of AI, but you just need a little help. We're helping in that aspect as well.
Wow, that's incredible. And I'm sure is a lot more efficient for these brands. I know people don't want to wait around for their designer to create their logo. And so that's really, really neat that technology has come so far to be able to do that.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. And we've had the opportunity to work with some very large companies, so that I know inventory has always been a problem for the dropshipping model because it's a shared inventory system. Meaning, let's say that the manufacturer produces 500 bottles of apple cider vinegar. Out of those 500 bottles, let's say that there's 1,000 stores that want to sell that one product. Well, if each one of the stores sells one bottle, obviously that math doesn't add up. So you have to have a really big inventory position from the manufacturing perspective so that your customers don't ever stock out. And because of these very large partnerships, inventory will not be a problem in the near future.
Yeah, that's great. We've touched on it, large amounts of inventory, quality control, and I think maintaining brand consistency across products is no small feat. So how do you ensure that product labels, claims, and images align with the client's brand identity while accommodating the demands of an ever expanding catalog?
So one thing that I like doing personally on my designs is I like figuring out what niche the client is wanting to go into. So let's say it is first responders. I just recently did a label for this, so it's fresh on my mind. So what I like to do is I like to do a very basic template or a basic design that feels like it could age well. And then what I do is I'll swap out an image of, let's say it's a firefighter. Because of the ability of HoneyComm, you can launch the same product 6 times over, 5 times over on the same website, so that you can hit a very wide target market, but it feels niche. So like we had one guy who had, I'm just going to keep using apple cider vinegar because that's an easy one, but we had a guy who had apple cider vinegar and we marketed it to firefighters. We marketed it to ambulance. We marketed it to police. We marketed it to nurses and doctors, anybody like that. And then that way, when they're running their campaigns, they can target market all the way down to those sub niches with no additional cost or no kind of muddying the water. Because in your typical manufacturing kind of setup, you would have to take an inventory position, which is typically a minimum of 50 to 250, depending upon your manufacturer. And I mean, then you have to order 50 of those labels or 250 of one label. Whereas in this system, you're not ordering any labels. As an order gets, or as a bottle gets purchased, the label gets printed, applied to the bottle, and shipped to the customer. So it's a very, it allows for wide growth of branding and marketing.
Yeah, and I think you bring up a good point. Those minimum order quantities. A lot of brands can't handle that or purchase that up front. And then if they do, it makes it difficult because they only have one product in their lineup. Whereas
Mhm.
this gives them the ability to have more than one product. They can change up their labels, they can get creative and not have to take on all of that inventory. So I think that's a really great business model for new brands.
Yeah, one thing that I love about that idea is the fact that you can launch your store and immediately have a massive store. I mean, you can have 80 products on day one. And what kind of is cool too, and a lot of people view out of stock products as a problem. However, if you keep them live on your site, it just makes it look like you're selling a ton of stuff. So then when you have somebody new land on your store, they're like, oh, this company has been around for ages. They've got 10 products or 5 products out of stock already. Like, these guys are selling through. Like, I want to get in on this. So instead of viewing out of stock products as a burden, you can use it as an opportunity to kind of show the idea that your store is huge, when in all reality, you might have only have launched it last week.
Right.
So.
Yeah. And can you walk us through the journey that a client typically takes with HoneyComm and highlight how the platform and your role as catalog manager really contribute to their success?
Sure. So my job actually starts before the client actually signs up. So all of the information I control um, not only populates our backend information, but also pushes to the front. So there is only one spot for all information to go, and it goes to both places. It goes to where the customer can log in on the back, and it also goes to the marketing on the front. Um, from the customer's perspective on kind of going through the whole system, you can sign up in a couple different ways. You can sign up through our website, or we are integrated in with Shopify. So we are an app that you can download and sign up for. And I believe we are in WooCommerce or BigCommerce, and we're planning on adding more and more over time, and kind of getting into more and more app stores. But the idea of kind of how the customer goes through the process is kind of different depending upon how they sign up. If they wanted to sign up through our marketing agency, let's say that they landed on like an ad, then they would probably go through the marketing line. If they found us through the manufacturing, then they would kind of go through it that way. Or if they found us through the like Shopify, then that experience is going to be completely different as well. But in the end, it's all kind of the same. There's a library of product that anybody can pick from. You upload a design, or you can design now inside the software. You push it through to a quality control. They review it. They make sure it looks good. There's open dialogue between you and a real person. And then once that quality control person or manager has approved your label, then it goes into the next phase, which is it's available for pushing to your storefront. Once it's connected to your storefront, then it's live. There's nothing else that needs to happen. After that, it's just up to the customer to market the product. As product ships, there's a live inventory on the back of Shopify as well as inside of HoneyComm. And that's pretty much a very short, condensed version of the walkthrough of kind of what is available. And there's many, many other things as well. Like we have inserts that you can add in, like marketing inserts, stickers, custom retail boxing, and many, many more things that just weekly, I feel like we're adding a new feature. So by the time this show comes live, I'm sure there's going to be 5 new features.
Yeah, that's great. And for those listening, if you would like to learn more about HoneyComm, we will post the link to their website in the show notes so you can check it out. I think it's really obvious by everything you've said today that HoneyComm's approach is revolutionizing dropshipping for consumable products. So, how do you see this approach shaping the future of e-commerce, and what excites you most about the possibilities that it offers?
Man, I mean, there's just going to be a lot more exposure. We've made it easier than ever to create a supplement store. So I know a lot of people are going to be saying, well, more people, more competition. That's not entirely true. Because of COVID, the industry itself has grown because of people's hyper awareness to their bodies and to what they consume and what they put into their bodies. And because of that, the industry is bigger than it has ever been. So there might be a lot of sellers, kind of a lot of competitors, but the money that is available is still astronomical when it comes to margins and it comes to your customer base. So I was going to say it's limitless. Honestly, the possibilities are limitless at this point.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think the dietary supplement industry is going anywhere. I think people are more health conscious than ever, and there's constantly new innovations and new ingredients coming out. And so I think it's still, a great opportunity for new brands to jump in and get into the supplement world. So
Absolutely.
I know you've talked about the future a bit and some new things coming up with HoneyComm, but are there any other exciting projects or partnerships that you'd like to highlight as you continue to redefine the dropshipping landscape?
Right now, not that I can think of. One thing that I did forget to mention is that if you are a manufacturer and you want to be a part of this system, we have a manufacturer partnership to where we can hook our software in with your product. So let's say that you sell pet products. We'll vet you as a manufacturer. You have to make sure that you follow all CGMP, you are a legitimate manufacturer. You can't work out of your garage. We're not going to hire you. But if you meet all of our standards and you pass all of our testing and all of that stuff, then you can become an approved vendor of HoneyComm. And as long as you can keep up with inventory requests, you're going to be able to sell product through our system.
Yeah, and I know you mentioned pet products. Are there any other types of supplement manufacturers that you're really looking for at HoneyComm?
Yeah, so we're always needing kind of the more obscure stuff. So
Okay.
we have somebody for CBD, but we're always looking into more opportunities there. Pet products is another one that we would love to expand on. And I would probably say our biggest one is probably sports nutrition.
Yes.
That's a ginormous market. And if you're in the industry of sports nutrition, you know that those products are very expensive to make. Therefore, a lot of manufacturers have to put up a lot of money to kind of get that ball rolling. So because of that, it's just more complicated to kind of create a partnership with somebody that in that world. But that is absolutely an area that we would love to kind of expand more into, and that kind of, yeah, I'd say sports nutrition is number one.
All right. Well, once again, thank you so much, Zack, for joining us today. And as we wrap up our illuminating conversation with Zack Woods, we've uncovered the dynamic interplay of design, technology, and drop shipping in the consumer packaged goods industry. So if you'd like to, like I said, if you'd like to explore the world of HoneyComm further, we will share the provided links on our show notes, and stay tuned for more captivating discussions. Don't forget to subscribe, share your thoughts, and join us in celebrating the world of nutraceutical innovations on social media. Until our next episode, stay inspired and informed.